And now a final suggestion. I call it the story of America as an experiment. Every school, save those ripped asunder by separatist ideology, tries to tell a story about America so that students will feel a sense of national pride. Students deserve that, and their parents expect it. The question is how to do this and yet avoid indifference on the one hand and a psychopathic nationalism on the other. Well, as it happens, there is such a story available to us. It has the virtues of being largely true, of explaining our past, including our mistakes, of inviting participation in the present, and of offering hope for the future. It is a story that does not require the belief that America is superior to all others, only that it is unique, youthful, admirable, and open wide to unfulfilled humane possibilities. No student can ask more of his or her country. No school can offer more. I propose then the story of America as an experiment, a perpetual and fascinating question mark. The story includes the experience of those who lived here before the European invasion and of those Europeans who provided the invaders with both their troubles and their ideas. After all, every story has a prologue. But the story properly begins, as Abraham Lincoln saw it, with a series of stunning and dangerous questions. Is it possible to have a government of the people, by the people, and for the people? And who are the people anyway? And how shall they proceed in governing themselves? And how shall we protect individuals from the power of the people? And why should we do all of this in the first place? Well, the point is that these questions are still unanswered and will always remain so. The American Constitution is not a catechism, but a hypothesis. It is less the law of the land than an expression of the lay of the land, as it has been understood by various people at different times. What is freedom? What are its limits? What is a human being? What are the obligations of citizenship? What is meant by democracy, and so on? The history of America is the history of arguments over these questions. Happily, Americans are neither the only nor the first people to argue these questions, which means we have tried to find answers and may continue to do so in the Analects of Confucius, the Commandments of Moses, the Dialogues of Plato, the Aphorisms of Jesus, the Instructions of the Quran, the Speeches of Milton, the Plays of Shakespeare, the Essays of Voltaire, the Prophecies of Hegel, the Manifestos of Marx, the Sermons of Martin Luther King Jr., and any other source where such questions have been seriously addressed. But which ones are the right answers? We don't know. There's the rub, and the beauty and the value of the story. So we argue and experiment and complain and grieve and rejoice and argue some more without end. Which means that in this story, we need conceal nothing from ourselves. No shame need endure forever. No accomplishment merits excessive pride. All is fluid and subject to change, to better arguments, to the results of future experiments. Now this, it seems to me, is a fine and noble story to offer as a reason for schooling, to provide our youth with the knowledge and will to participate in the great experiment, to teach them how to argue, and to help them discover what questions are worth arguing about, and of course to make sure they know what happens when arguments cease. No one is excluded from the story. Every group has made good arguments and bad ones. All points of view are admissible. The only thing we have to fear is that someone will insist on putting in an exclamation point when we are not yet finished.